Oh, my other one, this is a new one that I got introduced to when I moved up to Wisconsin. One of my friends had it.
Oh, when you moved up to Wisconsin.
It's called Secret Hitler.
Yeah.
This one I just really like because it makes people really mad when you play
I can't
it.
believe they have this name though. It's almost not even appropriate.
Even I think you'll get a kick out of this. So part of the game is you give out cards and everybody's associated to a party. You're either a fascist or you're a liberal.
Okay.
And the way the fascists win is you either get enough so there's like red cards or blue cards. The fascists are trying to get red cards played. The liberals are trying to get blue cards played. And the way to win is either, so for fascists, they want Hitler to become the, I forget the name for it. Basically, someone's president and someone's I think it starts with a C. But like basically you want him to become the, can you look up?
Okay, I'll look it up.
Yeah, I just need to see the rules. But anyway, you do that, but then the liberals can win because there's different events that can occur when you play different cards. And one of them is you can, like, shoot somebody or kill them in the game.
Okay.
So based on how people are playing their cards, you can kind of guess which team they're on. And you want to end up trying to kill Hitler because one person is Hitler in the game.
Okay, well, right. So there's always
Here,
one person
can I
that's
see
Hitler?
this? Because there's someone who is the... Okay, can you stop scrolling so fast?
Yep.
There is...
Chancellor.
Yes, you're trying to get Hitler to be chancellor because you want him to, like, be the rules. But what's great is people always say, don't hold grudges from round to round.
Yeah.
And people always hold grudges because you have to lie. If you're a fascist, you're trying to convince them that you're a liberal. And if you're Hitler, you don't want them to know you're Hitler, otherwise you're going to get killed.
So it says right here, the game ends in a liberal victory if either 5 liberal policies are enacted.
Which is the blue cards, yes.
Or Hitler is assassinated.
Yes. So
What kind of game is this?
This one, it gets really heated, which is why I think it's so entertaining.
Yeah.
Because basically, like, you just gotta gaslight people in this game. And it's really fun to do because it's just a board game. Like, you're not... It's doing no harm because it's within the context of a game.
Now, how long does this game take to place?
It depends. Sometimes people get real mad and they start yelling at each other, so we kind of have a hiatus of
Wow.
they're like, no,
I'm
but
not
they're
sure
the
it's a good game.
It's not a good game to play with people who would get offended by you.
So would it work in the Griner family? Should we?
It would be
avoid
really
that?
fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would work,
Okay.
but we would, because basically you have to be able to leave the game and still be friends with them. Because you're going to accuse someone of being a liar. And
Well, I guess you should do it with family all the time because what's the saying? You can pick your friends, but you can't pick your family, so they're always your family, right?
Yeah, so it's a pretty good... I mean, I want to play this with us. This is one game I'd love to play as a family because I'd like to see how we do.
Now,
Because basically, like, it's similar to... I don't know if you know of it's not a board game, but it's called Mafia, where people... They close their eyes and everybody has a different role, and you're trying to suss out the mafia members.
Okay.
It's similar to that, but in board game fashion.
Oh, okay.
So there's a lot of, I can't think of the term. There's a game that came out that's a video game. It's called Among Us. It's the same one. And they're kind of just like strategic lying games.
Right.
Like you want to convince people that you're not the person they're trying to kill.
How many people can play this game of...
like 10.
10, okay.
So the more people you have, the more fun it is because it gets confusing. Because then there's like...
And there's only one Hitler.
Yes, there's always only one Hitler, but the number of fascists change based on how many people.
Okay.
So if you don't have a lot of people, there's not a lot of fascists. If you have more people, you add more. And then there's also more like events where like... So one example why I think it's so fun, there's one like action... And someone plays, like, there's been so many fascist cards that have been played. The event says you can look at another person's party card.
Okay.
So you can definitively read with your own eyes what party they're affiliated to. And so, like, I'll be like, I'll read your card, and I look at it, and it says liberal. And I'll be like, he's a fascist. And then you'll be like, I'm not a fascist. And then it kind of, like, goes from there.
I'm looking at some of the, I guess, cards here or something. So there's a Paul von Hindenburg.
Oh, they're actual people?
Hermann Goring. Oh, and those are real people. Yeah, those are real people.
Oh, and the version my friend has, it's not that. We just call them mustache men.
Mustache men. Do they all have this?
Because I think they're like frogs and like they're not real people.
So you can do a game of 5 to 6 or 7 to 10.
Yeah. So really, there's instructions on how to set up the game based on number of playing. But it's one I highly recommend. But you might get into some heated discussions.
So, and I'm seeing like one of the cards here is 9 and yacht.
Yeah, so you vote.
So it's in German.
So whenever there's so few, like some people may have like been like shot and they're not in the game anymore. And whenever you get to a point where there's a point in which when Hitler's elected chancellor, they win.
Okay,
So if they are like, I'd like to nominate this person, the president nominates them for chancellor. So I'd be like, I nominate Jeff. And everybody votes, and they're like, no, I think he's Hitler, so they vote no. But then, based on how people vote, kind of can indicate what party they belong to.
Wow.
So there's a lot of, like, I mean, because you have to also kind of figure out how someone plays. Like, some people get really quiet when they're trying to lie because they're not good at lying, or...
So I would guess that
it's really fun.
Is like 16 and over or something like that. You know, probably.
I'd say you got to be a little bit older because there's a lot of strat. But I'd say you could play like 10 and older.
Right.
I don't think parents probably would like to see that their kids playing Secret Hitler at age 10, but it's, you know.
That's a little bit of a problem, yeah.
I remember when someone told me that this game existed, I was like, that's something that exists in the world?
Yeah,
like, that's kind of crazy.
Heard of this game. All right, well, and before we get into our last games, which might be the top, let's talk about some of the other games that exist.
But I don't want you to say what my top game is.
No, I'm not going to do. I guess I'm going to mention a few games that are out there, like some honorable mentions, like Stratego, Risk, Yahtzee, Sorry Trouble, those kind of things.
That's what I'm saying. Risk is my number one.
Is it your number? Well,